inside these trenches, watching life go by. I know there's more to this dream. Rising, rising like I'm breaking control. Whoa, whoa, rising, feel the thunder deep in my soul. Watching life go by, I know there's more to the dream. Rising, rising like I'm breaking control. Whoa, whoa, rising, feel the thunder deep in my soul.
audio, though.
Ah.
Can they hear me now, I wonder? Can they hear me? I gotta check the old chat there. I'm seeing POV, deaf people. But either way, look, now, apparently you can hear us, so we should probably announce. Welcome to Capping Television. You're back. We're back for more round 2, ozfortress Spring 2025, also known as season, I don't know, 810 or whatever it is now.
44, not 810.
44,
but anyway,
810, 44.
Getting close, but yeah, been a nice long day now. Some good old Team Fortress 2 at 9:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. But before we get into that, we have a nice little standings graphic to show you guys. So Hive this season has only 6 teams, as you can see on your screen there. So as of now, we've got Flank of Doom coming in the first spot as of week 2 at the moment. Whether they've played the games, not too sure if there's any update there. But number 2, Circus and Log. Number 3 is Freddo v Digga. Number 4, Pot of Greed, Blanksburgers 5, and Gilbert 6. So with High, top 4 will qualify for playoffs, and it will just follow the standard page playoffs. So, you know, your 1v4, 1v2, 3v4, and then sort of progress from there. So just sort of standard top 4 make playoffs, and then sort of how ozfortress is done throughout the season. But this is our first High game of the season as well, Snazzy. So exciting times ahead.
I'm very excited. And it's probably worth mentioning that because it is only week 2, the standings are sort of very preliminary.
Yes, it's only. I mean, it's only.
We all know Blanksburgers is going to be number 1, so it's sort of like irrelevant, realistically, like where they're standing now. Considering the Salt-Free alumni are just going to naturally, the way our stocks do, the way Saltcoin does, just rocket to the moon.
So we should invest? Is that what you're saying?
You absolutely should invest. But while we're investing, how about I tell you about Freddo v Digga, the gang war in London. And these players, you can see we've got a nice little graphic there for all the gamers. And we've got Aegis and Kaldos on scouts, that is Pocket and Roaming respectively. We've got Yons and Jacob on soldiers, again Pocket and Roaming respectively. We've got Pistol on the demo man. We've got Mikau on the medic. Now I have to admit, Mikau and I think I've run into Pistol once or twice are like the only players I really go on this.
Yeah, I mean, with this Freddo team, so the way I think it's formed is Pistol, obviously, he came back to ozfortress after a while. He was playing in Asia Fort actually for a good amount of time. So this roster actually is, to be honest, quite scary, because reason being, you have 2 very, very good scouts on this team. Kaldos is probably known for his sniper, especially off-classing. His sniper is insanely good. Aegis, I'm not, if that's how you pronounce it, if I'm butchering it, I do apologize. I'm not too familiar with him, but I think he might have played with him last season. I could be wrong
actually ringing a bell now that you
it might actually be Tira, which in that case, oh no, maybe not. Oh, actually, yes, I believe it is. Tira is their, I think is their combo scout. I'm not too sure, but anyway, Aegis, whatever his normal alias is, but regardless though, a very deadly duo, especially from the Asia Fort region. Kaldos especially on that off-class potential, but then you also got Yons, Jacob, and then obviously Pistol, Mikau rounding up from AU. So not a full Asia Fort team, but still, I think one of a team that I think everyone this season High is expecting to make playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that makes sense. Since you've said Kaldos is an Asian player, they are ringing a bell for me. He was how many clonks on the noggin I've had Ghost. There's not much still.
He was the number 1 sniper in Asia Fort. I believe he played on that Highlander show match, from what I recall, when we did that AU versus Asia show match. But regardless though, I think it is a roster that, look, definitely to make playoffs. But on the other side, we have Pot of Greed, arguably one of the most broken spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! For those that get the reference. But on that roster, we do have the likes of Waves on the combo scout, Tom on the flank, Psycho, Pocket, Fungus, Roma, Glitchy Demo, Rain, Medic. A very, again, quite actually, I think a very well-rounded roster overall to come into High. A few of these players as well as their first season playing High, like Glitchy, for example, who came second in Intel last season, but is definitely able to play at that sort of high level. As Demo Man especially, he's been one of the players I've actually kept my eye on, and he's, you know, like sort of coming up in the ranks there. But then you have Psycho on Soldier, who's a very, very good player who, if you need to util, change off class, especially his sort of sniping capabilities. And you got Waves and Tom as Scout, two very capable scouts. So I guess, again, one of the teams we expect to make playoffs, definitely. With regards, I guess, even so, like this team that we're seeing, Pot of Greed, they were seeded second. So a very high seed coming into a smaller High this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's it makes some sense. And just before we go too far into this, I think Glitchy is the only player that I do know by name. Waves rings a bell as well.
Yeah, Waves I've heard of, but I don't know him particularly well.
The problem is, let's see, I don't want anyone out there on the stream thinking that I'm hooing these gamers. They should be hooing me. I haven't even existed for a while, so I'm completely out of the loop, but that's good. It means my raw enthusiasm for the game will carry me forward, and I get to see some new blood.
Yeah, I mean, overall, when you compare these stats as well for both these teams, we'll go through the maps shortly, but I think this is overall a very close game. Few of these players, like Rain, isn't definitely known for his Medic, for example, so I feel like playing against the likes of Macau, who is very, very experienced in Medic, this, yes, could be a struggle, but also I think he's got nothing really to lose. Definitely a game he can, you know, sort of develop off, and also, you know, look back at if he, you know, wants to analyze it. And I feel like it's a good, you know, first season as Medic, and being seeded second is very impressive. But speaking about the game, we are this week on week 2 maps, which is Granary and Metalworks. A very interesting week 2 maps, actually, because normally I expect like a gully wash or something, and a bit of a curveball.
Granary and Metalworks is absolute whiplash, bro. You're playing one of the best maps that's ever existed in the game in the form of Granary, and then you're playing one of the worst maps that's ever existed in the game in the form of Metalworks. But they both play so very differently, even though they're both very sort of compartmentalized maps. So like each area on the map is like kind of very hard to break into, but then once you're into it, that's where you're going to be doing a lot of your contesting. Both maps do that. First one here on Granary, I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
And once we get whatever that is off the screen,
just for an update as well, I'm just reading the Twitch chat. So Aegis is Submarines, which now rings a bell. He is again, I was kind of from memory, I've heard about them speaking about this submarine player or gamer. He is quite, again, a very, very good scout player from what I've heard. So curious to see what he can do. Definitely in, I guess, the ozfortress competition, and also playing on the ping difference as well. So I'm curious to see what he can do.
Scouts are getting scarier and scarier, man. An old fart such as myself is horrified at the sheer unadulterated violence that scouts are able to put out now. So even at these, like, I mean, I'm going to use it in very strong air quotes, lower divs. Like, they're just horrifying. They're just absolutely horrifying.
It looks like as well, so Granary is going to be our first map, and both these maps, I feel like, I don't see it's going to be a roll, but like, we'll start with Granary, but regardless though, I don't see it will be a roll. It's going to be, I feel like, quite back and forth, definitely. However though, when you look at the side of, for example, the side, both, actually, I feel like this is actually quite an equal game all round, especially despite the side of Freddo having to basically Div 1 Asia Fort scouts on their team. Even when you look at the soldiers, you got Fungus, Psycho, Yons, and Jacob. I feel like it's a pretty even matchup all round, to be honest, especially in a map like Granary, where soldier bombs is sort of what we want to watch for and see, you know, where they choose to bomb, especially that dev corner position. You get stuck there, your mid's basically over, and especially the rollout's crucial, watching a demo roll out and see where they choose to position themselves.
Yeah, I'm actually a big believer with Granary that a lot of it rests upon the demo man. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes, because we've talked about both of these demos, Pistol and Glitchy, in sort of like this pre-match time. They're both pretty good as far as I'm aware, and I do think that it's an undersung class on this map, because there are so many places where a demo can do very, very good, consistent damage. Which, I mean, yeah, look, I'm describing every map in Team Fortress, like, holy shit. But, if you know what I mean, like, they're undersung because you don't see anything too flashy necessarily, but boy, does it make a huge, huge impact, especially on these compartmentalized maps like I was talking about. It just gives you so much opportunity to then get your soldiers in, and they get the flashy frags, but they couldn't have done it if your demo didn't lay 250 damage onto someone in the last, like, 2 seconds.
I feel like as well on the map like Granary, it's also, you're right about the demo damage, because I'm curious to see, obviously, where they choose to roll out, but also what damage they can do, because especially a mid on Granary is basically over, because I feel like it's different to other mids where, if your demo gets, you know, tagged a few times, or you can at least sort of play past it, you can sort of work your way back into the mid. But a map like Granary, if that pack underneath Catwalk gets stolen, or gets trapped off, or your demo gets, you know, just bombarded with stickies, your mid might be practically over, because you lose space so quickly. As soon as a demo is weak, you're going to be calling for a double bomb onto, you know, select target, aka maybe the demo, or, you know, medic or something else.
I mean, look, it's a map that's a constant play of tension and release, like a good Powderfinger song. You know, it gives you a lot to sort of play with, and like to say, like, I mean, if you lose those really early moments, it can be the end of it. That's the release. But look, Ghost, I'm going to ask you for a prediction, because I think we both know that I'm just going to back my boy Mick out and say 5-0 to them.
I mean,
do you have any predictions for this map, mate?
I definitely can see 5-0 is one in God knows how many, like one in a million. But look, it with the way Pistol Teams plays, I feel like once they start getting the ball rolling, and especially the scouts warming up into it, I feel like pace change and having to adapt to how Pistol plays, because Glitchy did lose to Pistol during that grand final last season at Inter, so who knows, maybe they want revenge for that. But anyway, look, I do see Pistol's team probably taking Granary. Scoreline though, maybe 4-2, 4-1, I'd say.
4-2, 4-1,
something along those lines. But look, I do expect a, you know, not as fast-paced, but the way, as soon as it starts developing, then I guess we'll see that. But we are now into map 1, first mid. Let's get this show on the road.
So, like I said, it is map 1 of round 2 of ozfortress Spring season 2025. Bloody high division. This is Freddo v Digga v Pot of Greed. Sounds like a lot. Look, we're into the first mid. We can see one of the demo men opting for that crates rollout, the other one down on the ground there. Both teams sort of facing off against each other. A lot more aggression out of the red soldiers here, really able to make things happen. First frag going the way of that team. It's now a bit back and forth, but the blue team gets sandwiched in that tiny area behind the crates there. And they're kind of stuck here now. Waves going in, trying to make something happen. Does end up going down. It's just demo in onto Mikau. Not quite able to make it happen, and that is the first mid going the way of Pot of,
Freddo. Look, Pot of Greed didn't have the heart of cards with him, unfortunately, there, but however, one thing to note especially is Pistol going for the high play, taking the high ground, and obviously you can see Mikau getting forced into last year, so already they're into last, and they're already on the last point there, and they're already nearly capped as well, and they are getting some frags. However, Pistol gets taken out, and now Freddo are on the sort of back end here, having to back out, and now just regroup in this Gary position here, so only, unfortunately not actually able to secure the last point, but before the action, yeah, that mid fight, Pistol going for the high ground there, and then sorry, the crate roll and denying, basically just denying space because Pot of Greed just couldn't get anything going. They were stuck in Death Corner, and Rain ate so much damage as well, I'm gonna point out. So their mid was a bit scuffed, and then I feel like their soldiers just sort of doing for like a Hail Mary, just trying to get something working. But that's the example of not taking space. But we have the back cap. So close, but now I feel like this might just turn into a trade because it's basically even Ubers now. And Pot of Greed have to stay on last.
Pot of Greed absolutely cannot leave last there. However, they are pushing forward. They've cleared most of their things there. There's an Uber trade on the second point there as they try to push forward and get some ground there. They get so much damage on the Demo Man, but not quite able to make it happen. One frag going that way. We do see one of the scouts caught in that second area now. It's just a lot of back and forth fragging, but it seems to be resetting at more or less the same position we were just in, except without the Uber trade. We can see Freddo has lost one more extra player comparatively, but the spawns are going to equalise that one out. And now with the Ubers relatively equal, we'll have to see how they want to play it. I mean, look, I really like Granary second. I really, really like Granary second. It's easily my favourite area, even though I suck at it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they want to try to break out of last here, because it is really difficult.
Definitely, and especially the back cappers as well. You saw Yoth going for the back cap attempt, which he almost got it, and it was basically just a minuscule. But now it's just back to even Ubers again. This has actually turned into a little bit of a soldier Uber, and unfortunately though, nothing to actually come out of it. However though, they are getting the point, and actually it's a demo down as well for the side of
Counter Uber.
Pot of Greed.
Yeah, we see the counter Uber, Pot of Greed trying to make something happen in the second there, but they've just gotten a bit disconnected. They haven't really collected enough frags here to make things happen. They're going to lose quite a few players on the second here, and this is the classic trap of Granary. If you fight that second and you muck it up, it's a problem. You've now lost so many players. They're in your last. The point cap's fairly quick, even since the updates, but they've somehow managed to hold on just by the absolute skin of their teeth. They're still fighting on that second point. But never being able to take out that scout, and they're going to be able to recap this one, I believe. But with all those forward spawns, is it going to last very long? I don't think so.
Yeah, but as well, just want to point out, it is actually pretty much full Uber out actually for the side of Freddo, so they could actually just take this back into last year, and Caldor's just holding ground and getting some, just getting kills there, delaying the push out for the side of Pot of Greed, and now Uber coming up from the side of Freddo, and they're just sending it in, able to probably should be able to catch a frag here, which doesn't look like yet. Brain actually gets taken out, so that is the med down, and there's a point get captured for the side of Freddo, and that is the first round going to the side of Pistol and Co. So Pot of Greed, unfortunately, falling to the trap card of Freddo v Digga.
Yeah, Freddo really played that one well. They knew they had that ad, and just by slowly fighting the point, they sort of baited it into that second area. Really, really well played actually to do that one, because their Uber was so destructive. And then on top of that, their flank was just repping stuff on the side there. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Pistol going for this aggressive mid play again as well, and that's already Glitchy getting taken out. This is immediate space control coming up from the side of Freddo. That's Rain and Glitchy both out, Howell just beyond, and Jacob getting taken out. Now this is just all in for Mikal. Mikal gets taken out in the process as well, and actually this is equalized players, but HP better in the side for Freddo in particular, and Tom, last player alive, does get taken out, and that's basically a full wipe. Glitch just spawning now, but a little bit more scrappier mid. Mikal dying actually a lot later, so we'll probably slide out of the side of Pot of Greed. However, though, point being captured to the side of Freddo, and they should be able to take a bit of yard control. However, though, it does not surprise me if Pot of Greed choose to poke Gary a bit and see what they can make. But Ad is actually in favor of Pot of Greed, so no, Rain took a while to heal there actually, so it wouldn't surprise me if Mikal with experience does an ad check actually.
Honestly, I think they just stuff that their spawns were so disconnected that they weren't able to make anything happen. But they're fighting that Gary area. They're so disconnected. Their medic is in massive, massive danger here, and that ad is now just going to increase. It's probably going to be absolutely full ad. There's no players able to really defend second. In fact, I think doing so is just a suicide pact. So they're stuffed on the last with full disadvantage. Not enough players, no gun. Can it get any worse, Ghost?
I don't know, and no off classes at the moment as well, so they're choosing to stay on. Actually, yeah, as I said, Tom choosing to go sniper, so trying to go for a Hail Mary shot onto Nikau. But however, though, looks like Freddo are just going to be going for the standard right hand push, and Uber does get popped out. So very early Uber coming up from the side of Freddo here, already on to last year. Pistol just jumping on, trying to get any frags, and already point play immediately into Vector, and so much damage onto point. Pistol is just dropping sticks onto it. However, though, this point. So close, and unfortunately, no success for the side of Freddo. They are forced, they are having to back out, and obviously, yeah, Uberad coming out to the side of Green, so really good hold. But Freddo, these point captures, and they play surprisingly. If Pistol, I feel like, was just to jump, the game is on that left-hand side, or just get stickies on point, scout bait point, it actually could work out very well, but they are getting actually a lot of capture time, so this is kind of scary for this part of Green, because Freddo are playing these last points to actually a pretty good degree, to be honest, despite some of them are getting pushed.
Yeah, look, I'm not really sure what went wrong with that push. I think they just sort of flubbed it. We do see the Uber trade in the DC area. It's worked out so much better for Freddo here. They picked up quite a few players. They're sort of pushing into that second area, but again, this is danger in second here. And you can see Pot Agreed, they've decided, yeah, no, we're not fighting that. It's just asking for trouble, especially with no demo man. But that doesn't stop Freddo v Digga. They're in very, very deep. They pick up so many players. It's really just the medic left alive. Demo man falling for the point, up on the pipe, doing a bit of damage, but not enough to make things happen. In the second round, already gone the way of Freddo v Digga.
And this is what I was talking about as well, Freddo building momentum, and I feel like they're just playing their own pace. They're playing such a fast pace. It's also, I feel like, Pot of Greed, they need to adapt to it, and yeah, it feels like Freddo is just having full control of the game, because especially these mid fights, a lot of them is just space taken by Freddo, just a simple standard, take space, and Pistol, I think he's just doing the same rollout effectively, going for the high ground sort of play. Halber, he has fallen down to just a standard to the low ground here, and Halber though, looks like Pot of Greed are trying to get a bit of space here with two soldiers getting taken out. Now Freddo are actually on the back foot, so looks like Pot of Greed have actually adapted a little bit, and now, yeah, this is just an exit for the side of Freddo. So much better, and actually I think good recovery coming out from the side of Pot of Greed.
Yeah, I think Pot of Greed did a really good job with that one. I'm kind of shocked that didn't fall apart entirely. So it's good to see Glitchy taking a bit of damage as he tries to get into that second area. But we're just going to be back to a bit of a reset here, I think, especially with these even Ubers. We'll have to see if they want to go for like some sort of drop-down play or something. But we'll have to see how they want to play it. I mean, this is the first time we've seen Freddo defending so far, really, against anything.
I mean, that's Gus actually getting taken out on the flank as well, so immediately we do see a bit of full flank pressure coming off the side of Freddo, and that's also Tom getting us, so two frags going down to the side of Pot of Greed, and that immediately calls for the back out of the yard position, and now just holding this Gary position, or holding this sort of lobby area, actually, whatever you want to call it, sorry. But as we do say that, though, Uber gets popped out from the side of Pot of Greed, and now this turns to exchange, and Uber's going to be so much better for the side of Freddo, and not ending too deep here. Halber, actually, no frags yet, so they wanted to go deep, but unfortunately, I guess no one was really in position, and Pistol getting caught out there, doesn't manage to live, and yeah, looks like Pot of Greed, this is the first time I actually see them in control of the game a little bit.
Yeah, Pot of Greed are looking good here. They're taking these trades. They even pick up another scout. Yep, Caldo's going down right at the tail end of that one. So that'll give them everything they need. Free cap on the second. They've got not much really to play with here, but they do still have that player out, and they're keen to make things happen. They're poking a little bit, but they need to be conscious of this Uber situation because it's very, very even. Caldo is up on Sniper, taking a bit of a beam there, not really able to make anything happen. But if they keep opening this door, this could be a real problem with Caldo's on the Sniper here. He's got a really good sight line.
Just playing a little bit glitch angle.
Is
This
he
is
going
why I
to
say
collect
there's more
anything?
waves
He
get
takes
taken
out
out.
waves.
This is what I mean by
Yeah.
Caldo Sniper. Like, he's already gone to the off class, showcasing what he can do on this class. And now, yeah, Pot of Greed having to sort of give up that that lobby position, And yeah, this is back to still even Ubers, and that's actually though Frag going in the favor of Polar Creed. So there's a scout going down to the side of Freddo, and Uber gets popped out on both sides here. Mikau extremely low, possibly for this post Uber. However, Pistol going extremely aggressive, and Mikau is actually staying despite his HP, and really good movement coming out by him. And that's basically almost a wipe, just 2 plays living for the side of Polar Creed. Oh my god, actually, that might have... Okay.
Gus picking up so many right on the tail end. I was just about to say that was like one of the worst post moves I've ever seen, but that kind of redeemed it just a little bit.
That actually helped as well for Pot of Greed, because now Rain has a better spot and Uberan, and that's actually God's also getting taken out for the side of Freddo. So 1 play down and Demo as well. So this is actually falling apart a little bit for Freddo here.
Yeah, Freddo are losing a lot of players here, and especially with this disadvantage that they're staring down the barrel of 2 players down, they can't really do much to defend yard. And I think if Pot of Greed play this quick enough, especially while this Demo's down, this could be a free second. Because second is really hard to defend without your Demo Man, especially they're wrapping straight around. They have been seen, but the Demo's going straight through the Z, trying to make something happen. Soldier in deep, Yom's going down. Demo Man having to take a little bit of heals, but they've got players caught behind them now, and indeed, they're going to be in trouble with that that back cap starting up on the mid. Most of the players there, they have started second. Are they going to be able to outcap it? It's getting very tight here, and they do manage to outcap it. There was a soldier that went back to try to block it, but they didn't seem to be needed. They're into the last. There's no one there to stop them. Their first round, Pot of Greed taking their first round of the map.
That was a very good attempt actually coming out by Freddo, but unfortunately just doesn't work out. The soldier coming back as well just came back in the nick of time, because that was quite close actually for the capture. So that got a little bit scary, but finally Pot of Greed finally on the board. So it looks like, yeah, I think they're slowly getting into, like, adapting to how Freddo want to play. But Pistol loving this high roller onto crates.
I mean, it's strong as. He's up there, he can see everything, he gets that mini pack as long as he doesn't take too much damage, and if he does, he can drop down. But here we go. We're on to this first little fight of this round. Soldier in deep, Gus in there does end up going down. They do lose a couple of players on both sides. It's still pretty even here. Both teams are wrapping around each other. They're sort of committing to the mid. It's like a sunshine mid where they're rotating around each other. Psycho way off on the side there. I don't know if anyone knows he's there. He's in deep on a Mikau, manages to take him out. There's so much fighting going on, dude. This is crazy. But it does look like it's gone away of Pot of Greed just by the last, like, skin of their teeth. They managed to take that one. But they've got full Uber, they've got players. This is looking like a Pot of Greed round.
Yeah, and it's Pot of Greed's round to lose now, and finally we do see an off-class coming out from the side of Freddo, and we do actually have a crits coming out on the side of Freddo as well, so hopefully they do get this crits in time, because it does not surprise me Pistol wants it, because he knows, he is a big fan of using good old crits here. However, basically, yeah, Uber on the side of Pot of Greed, so now they are finally in control, and that's actually the first one I feel like Pot of Greed played quite well. They didn't lose as many casualties as I expected.
Yeah, look, I mean, they played it really well, but here we go. They're into the last point here. They do finally use their Uber. They do get very deep before they do have to use. They picked up a couple of players and a sentry gun. Nothing too much to write home about so far. The mid now on the crits. Laser beams coming through on the heavy. Does end up going down. The crits now being wasted. It's onto the scout. The pistol. Not quite able to make it happen. Does manage to pick up waves, but they managed to even the scoreline. Pot of Greed, really. They're in the driver's seat now, don't you say?
Yes, looks like the Pot of Greed, they draw 2 cards, and clearly it's paid out, but, paid off, sorry, but, yeah, I mean, 2-2 now, so this is, yeah, it's getting even now, so it looks like Pot of Greed, I think, feel like adapting to sort of what's happening, but that crits play almost sort of paid off for Freddo, but otherwise, yeah, a new mid, and it looks like Pistol is loving his, height rollout still.
Yeah, Pistol's still very keen up there, and they really haven't done anything to shut him down on the side of Pot of Greed here. Tom going down really early there. Bit of fighting still going on, but Mikau has gone down. It is still looking pretty good for Freddo here. In fact, I think I'd say they're probably in the driver's seat just for the moment. But the moment these spawns come up for Pot of Greed, they're still in really good standing here. They've got massive Uberad, and all they have to do is not dissolve in yard like they did last time they tried to use Uber there.
I mean, Pot of Greed just now need to figure out how to get back into mid. I mean, objective is not to use, definitely. But looks like there's a bit of resistance currently on mid with the side of Freddo holding close for the moment, just spamming, but however though, looks like they are slowly falling back in. Macau grinding actually really well, already on 50% Uber, so this Uber ad that Pot of Greed had will probably just fade soon if they don't take it anytime soon. But however though, they already have taken this midpoint, so already gaining ground here and already into this Gary position here, but now this Uber is basically just going to equalize.
Yeah, look, they're in danger zone, but they are trying to make something happen with it. They're ready to go through Zed with the Uber. They know they have a tiny bit of override, but I don't think it's enough to do anything, as the Ubers have now equalized. They take the solo through Zed. Counter Uber comes through. They are getting locked into second there a little bit, but I think it's going to be a reset. Both teams using Uber, no kills on the board. I like Gus going down on the flank right at the last safe moment. As I said it, bro, come on, man. Like, he's playing with me at this point, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, now with Gus going down, actually, that's the trade as well. Yon's getting taken out in the press a lot, but still a lot of pressure on his flank. And oh my god, Tom getting
so
a
much
nice
damage.
two-piece with Psycho, and Macau living on 12 HP. He needs to get out of there fast. He is legging it up this catwalk area. I feel like he's definitely being spotted, and he is long gone back into last. Just Macau left here, having enough at last. He's going to have to go for it soon. But actually, do have a soldier spawn coming up though, and this is actually should be Pot of Greed. I do not see them losing this yet. They do get the point, and now Pot of Greed. Good recovery from Freddo with the fast 2 quick rounds, but now Pot of Greed look like are in the driver's seat. They are now slowly working their way back into it.
They are belted in the radios on their favourite channel. They are just cruising down the highways with an easy win at this point. They're really playing extremely well. They're still a little bit disconnected in some of their team fights, but man, they're making it happen. Tom is actually really showing up in this game. We do see the usual sort of mid, Demo Man up on top yet again for the side of Freddo. Gonna have to see how they want to play that. He does drop off pretty early this time. Quite a bit of damage coming out of Psycho. They're picking up one of the scouts. So many players down now for the side of Freddo. That's just their Demo Man still alive. And there you go. That is a wipe for just losing your medic. I think you're pretty happy with that if you're Pot of Greed. I wouldn't call that one too greedy.
Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad as well. And it looks like Pot of Greed is... yeah, I mean, look, they're starting to believe in the heart of the card. Video reference there, if people get that. But anyway, no, in all seriousness, a good mid coming out from the side of Pot of Greed. Obviously, just losing the med there, but Macau actually building incredibly well, and it wouldn't surprise me. I thought he was on crit, so he's actually on Uber, and he's actually building incredibly well. So I feel like it's very hard to push out last year. I feel like they might play even. It would surprise me if they do choose to push out. But now we do have Kaldos and the sniper, and it looks like it might just be even Ubers actually for both sides here. So
yeah, I think Kaldos built very well, but I think with their current situation, they're probably a little bit nervous. Look, they're down around already. There's only 5 minutes, left on the clock before it goes into the banning timer. And especially when you're playing against a team that's like, I mean, it sort of feels like, you know, their dad's been working in Singapore for the last couple of weeks, and he's brought back a couple of darkly big rabbis for them. Like, what are you going to do?
Oh my god!
But we do have a two-man attempt to try to get in and kill the medic there. One big old snipe onto one of them, and the other one does go down to a classic little air shot. Yeah.
And now Psycho, as a result of that, has chosen to go for the Spy, which does not surprise me. Going for the little cheap Spy, but a Spy on Granary is it's such a good off class actually for this map, for especially some of these stalemates. But now it looks like causing a bit of distraction. Psycho getting behind. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yep. I think the Spy has been discovered. I think he's been discovered, so this is now really awkward. Like, I can see the vision there going through Z and trying to get onto the medic or just some class of general, but now he's been discovered. This has become Tenno's harder, but he's actually stuck behind quite well, and now he's just calling for distraction. He's been spotted, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they were looking very aggressively, like the entire time he was sneaking in. They were just waiting for him to peek, like, and they did manage to catch him out there. And with that one player out there, very keen to get in. Caldor's going down, but the force coming out. Yon's able to collect enough damage onto Rain there to make something happen. It's just going to be a bit of a reset on second for the moment, but I think once these spawns come up for Freddo, they'll be pretty keen to push this one straight on out.
Yeah, I mean, still Uber ads actually for the side of Freddo, so it doesn't surprise me if they do choose to try to use it and try to take advantage of it. But being down and Gus has been spotted, Macau nice surf out of lobby there, so they are already taking position and getting space really quickly into yard position. Macau baiting really well here, trying to avoid any sort of bombs. Another sort of bomb coming in. Macau dodging and weaving, doesn't use, which is what you want to see. However, though, this Uber is evening out very quickly. We do have two players down on the side of Green, and we do see a trap go on to Caldor's head, but however, they're trying to get Uber Green and I think it's just going to even out again, but Freddo have gained a lot of space as a result of what has occurred in the last 2 months.
They actually played that really well. They managed to throw a couple of players in at exactly the right time and delay through the middle, which they knew they were going to lose, just long enough to reset into this yard area, which, like, I mean, yard is just the other half of mid, you know? It's like you're still going to be fighting for the middle by fighting in yard. Like, it's a weird one. But, yeah, I think they played that really excellently, actually. I don't know if it was intentional to throw him in at that exact moment, but it really worked out. Yon's in for a bit of a bomb, does take quite a bit of damage, goes down. There's the other subject coming up, and they did get the force there. I can't believe he got the force there. How did that happen? Your team's got to protect your med, guys. This is how this works. Uber coming out because they were so aggressive with the tail end of that Uber. They have lost a couple of players, just Rain going down so far, and there's a lot of aggression coming out.
Jesus!
It's just the 2 soldiers that have spawned. That is insane. Yons is so low trying to fight in this middle area. Absolutely not. Dude, Pot of Greed are insane. They're so good.
That was so unfortunate for Macau. I thought for a second I actually thought he surfed the right way, and then I look at him like, shit, he surfed into the demo. That's really awkward. But good recovery. A very scrappy fight actually overall. However, though, Freddo not looking to give up this mid fight, and we already see aggression onto Lucia with Jake taking him out, and now Freddo already capping the second point and already taking yard. Wrestle's trying to get as much space, and that's already another play down. Waves getting caught in the process as well, so Pot of Greed making up for that scrappy fight, and I feel like, do they choose to take this quick into last here? But I think they're just going to grind for now and maybe just stabilize by looks of things here. The 6 players coming up on the side of Pot of Greed, and it looks like they are just going to, I think, equalize the Uber and go for Sax plays, and we do see an off-class coming up on Waves on the Sniper.
Yeah,
Oh, you sound so much better now.
Yeah, sorry. This whole time I've been battling my audio. I don't know what happened with that one, man. It seemed to have selected the wrong source there. I hate webcams. Waves up on the sniper there, trying to make things happen. Not quite able to make it go in that one little sight line that he had. But yeah, it's just going to be a reset here. I mean, Freddo, they absolutely want this round, especially with the banning timer. Yeah, you're right. But I do think it's probably going to even out after this banning timer, because I can smell a Freddo round here. I can smell it. You know, I can taste it on my tongue. It's there.
It looks like they want to get ready for some sort of sack play coming up from the right-hand side. However, though, some stickies delaying the play by looks of things. They are prepping for some sort of shenanigans. Buffs coming out onto both their soldiers here, and they feel like they're going to go from right side and left side here. We do see pressure about to get applied. Sniper already watching that door. Missed shot coming out from the sniper here. Do see a soldier commit range, just hiding in spawn, and looks like no frags yet coming out on the side of Freddo there. And that actually is a trade. Actually coming out, and oh my god, Rain stepping out for a brief second, but no damage onto him. 2 players out from the side of Freddo, and they are looking to possibly trade. I feel like if Pot of Greed choose to push second, but it looks like we are stabilizing for now, but looks like aggression actually slowly coming into this lobby position. And we do have a sniper coming out from Submarine.
Yeah, look, Pot Agreed, they're playing it a little aggressive, but I think they're doing a good job of like balancing that aggression a little bit. Because, as I said earlier, I mean, Granary 2 is dangerous. If you muck it up, it's a really bad thing. We do see the sniper manage to take out the other sniper. We're watching Highlander at this point, just with less players. As the door opened and just a quick shot out of waves to delete that sniper. The Uber comes through, big old solo out of Rain and Tom here. Tom's been putting in some work too, so it could have been really, really good. They do manage to back up. They picked up a couple of players here. It's actually looking pretty good for them to be able to push straight on out. There is still that soldier in the backside there that I don't think they know about though, and he could be a real problem. He is in onto the second there, comes in at a very poor timing for himself. That's very unfortunate. Gus able to kill Mikau alongside his demo man. And they've just cleaned up so many players. So many players.
Yeah, and Mikau dying to a roll is so unfortunate as well, and this actually gives the side of Pot of Greed a good amount of ad, 55% ad to be specific, and I feel like Mikau being so good at, medic he is, like, probably, I feel like he probably can grind by the time they get to last, probably even out. However, though, yeah, they're already starting to build, so they know for a fact they probably have to give up. Okay, never mind. Wave just deletes Submarine there.
I was going to mention, they've kept the sniper. The sniper now playing in that yard area. Yons is in nice and deep trying to make something happen there, but Psycho's coming back. They do trade for each other on the side there, but still a bit of Uber out. They do have the sniper that's going to slow them down. They're also missing a soldier. This could be a bit of a hairy push for them, but they're in deep already. Demo Man Glitchy in there, nice and deep, onto the point early. The Uber gets Ubered, and they picked up a couple of players. Nothing really to write home about. This could still very easily be a defense out of Freddo, but Waves with a nice big dome onto Mikau. Right as he hit like 90-odd%, that was so dangerous, but it's not quite enough to make it happen. They do still have a soldier in the backline there, Psycho, now trying to get into the last, but there's so many players there waiting for him. He does trade for Yons, but doesn't manage to get the point.
The frag.
Yeah.
The point. But, yeah, very, very close. Yeah, Pot of Greed almost had that, but they didn't really actually, I feel like they didn't get much capture time onto the point, to be honest, because they sort of just went for frags, and I was looking at the point, and I was like, there's not much capture time, because Mikau almost had Uber, and that, you have to thank Waves for hitting a very lucky shot, to be honest, but as a result of that, though, it's sort of just reset, and now Freddo are actually slowly making their way back, into this mid, and, now this basically is just be anyone's game, and that is 2 plays out for the side of Pot of Greed. So Freddo making a good recovery as a result of that last push coming out. Of that last hold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly a little bit surprised with how poorly it's sort of falling apart for Pot of Greed here. They were looking so strong coming into the banny timer, but now I guess that pressure of like, okay, we could lose it at any time here, it might be sort of, they're fumbling, their fingers are sweaty, it's slipping around the keyboard. I don't know what's going on. But, we can see Freddo taking that slightly unorthodox lunchbox route into the second there. They have been spotted, Tom managing to see them there, so there's no way that they can get through for free. But they do manage to pick up a couple of players, Tom and Fungus. They both go down, which is it's gonna spell the end for the defense on second there. And now the players into the last already. They do back out. They just collect that second. A bit of aggression on the side there, managing to bring the players back. And I think it'll be back to another reset here. We do see Sniper and Sniper again.
Yeah, we do see Cowdles in the Sniper, which doesn't surprise me. His signature class, basically, or his best class actually in the game. And then we see Tom now on the Sniper. So we do have, I think now it's just relying on the picks and trying to work off these Sniper plays. And it looks like Cowdles is opting for a sort of catwalk peak by the looks of things, already getting a charge shot. I feel like this. I don't think they've spotted. I don't think I've spotted a sniper out actually, but now we're getting a great. Yeah, I feel like they've seen the dot now, and they've definitely spotted a sniper. He's going for a catwalk push, but unfortunately, catwalk peek. Sorry, but unfortunately, no frag connected, and now working his way on the right side here. Demo opening door does spot the sniper though. No connection yet, so now both teams are aware snipers are in play here. Caldor's trying to go for the peek onto Tom. Tom not showing anything yet. I believe he is just holding the same angle, playing more of a head glitch spot, trying to wait for Caldor's big door is open, expecting a sniper. Unfortunately, no headshot yet. So now, yeah, pretty stalemated here, and I think it's just waiting for the snipers to get a peek, and then we'll work the way into last.
Yeah, look, it may be boring, but it's our TF2, ladies and gentlemen. As the sniper goes a little bit too aggressive, Caldor's trying to get in there, go for a little bit of a hero shot. A lot of team there to support him, but not quite enough. Does take too much damage. Dies. Tom now able to push a little bit aggressively. Not quite able to get the shot that he's looking for, it seems. And it's killed Ghost as well.
Yes. Nah. Sorry. That was a big ballsy move from Mikau, just crossing in the open, but...
Very ballsy, but the Uber does get used out of Mikau and Co there. They do try to get very forward with that one, but they don't actually manage to achieve very much. They have lost 3 players, including their medic. The rest of their players still quite low on that second there. The Demo Man goes down. One of the soldiers still in the last, trying to make things happen and kill Rain. And that is a wipe, a flubbed push into a wipe.
I feel like Freddo could have just played it even more stalemate. I think either, you know, if I can't push in the last, just do your normal sacks or wait for your sniper to pick, or simply go for the round reset. I don't think there was a necessary need to just sort of go for a trade, because that trade, to be honest, didn't go very well. They just ran in, no frags, and Uber just reused, and that's what 4 plays down for the side of Freddo. So I feel like either going for a round reset or just keeping it stalemate out, like keeping it on stalemate to the position, might have been better for the side of Freddo. However, though, Pole of Greed with a pretty good amount of Uber ad though. However, Mikau, as I said, with his building speed already, yeah, 75% in with their Uber, so this might just even out, as we've been saying pretty much for most of the game.
Yeah, look, Mikau's really doing a good job of like wrangling his team into grinding in a way that's really effective. As the blue team pushes straight on through the Z there, they do lose one of their scouts in the middle of that Uber there. They have to flash a couple of times as the counter Uber has come through from Freddo there. There's so much going on, but not a lot of frags to write home about so far. Tom going down right on the tail end of that one as Pistol manages to pick up that frag with just a couple of stickies. And that's going to mean that they have to back out. I mean, they're both scouts down. You cannot defend.
Yeah, and already Freddo taking this midpoint with pretty much relative ease, actually, just sort of rushing in. There's not much resistance coming up from the side of Pot of Greed, but however, though, both teams don't lose in the exchange, so at least, you know, it's just going to be even Ubers again, and we did see a sniper, but however, though, it looks like they've just switched back to the standard 6 classes here, and yeah, it is even Ubers. It looks like Pot of Greed are able to get control of this guard position, hold it for now, and see what sacks prevail from the side of Freddo. And it wasn't actually, as I said, they're already getting ground into this depth corner position, pushing through, and Demo gets taken out there. And do we see an Uber? Uber does get popped out. That actually is, though, 2 players down for both sides here, but and crucially a Demo down from the side of Freddo, which isn't the best yet, and already they're on the back foot, and Mikau actually could be caught as well. He's getting chased super deep here, trying to stay alive. He's surprisingly actually on clips from that chaos.
Good again with these crazy plays out of Pot of Greed. As I say that, though, there is a soldier in. Oh, not quite able to make it happen. Rain managing to take out that soldier right at the last safe moment. Yeah, these crazy plays out of Pot of Greed, they managed to separate Mikau from the rest of his team as they pushed on through with the soldier bomb, and it just meant that they were able to make things happen. Yons, though, able to pick up 2. Oh no, oh sorry, I lied, he only picked up Rain, and that is going to give Freddo what they need to start pushing back on in here. But yeah, what I was saying, they disconnected Mikau, they collected a couple of players, it meant their Uber was completely stuffed on the side of Freddo, and the counter Uber was just brilliant. There's a lot of fighting going on trying to pick up Mikau, but they're not quite able to make it happen. while I'm saying all that. So we're back to watching Freddo have another go at the last here.
Yeah, and they have full Uber. They have everything in their favor now. It looks like Macau wants to get the troops, get the gamers into order, already gaining position, and it looks like they are choosing to go for more of a. Oh, actually, I think Macau was keen for much more, but it looks like they're just going for a standard right hand push. Uber gets popped out on the side of Freddo here. Point capture immediately into play by the side of Freddo here, and as so close cap frags are going in the favor of Freddo.
It's insane.
Like we do see a 1v1 that is even out 3 Cowgirls clutching up there, and that is equalized, and now it's do or die for both teams.
Do or die on the worst config known to man. We could be here for another 40 minutes. I'm so excited. But yeah, look, it's crazy. Dude, Glitchy was playing out of his brain in that last little push there. That was just crazy.
Yeah, and finally we don't see a high dollar coming pistol. Pistol going for more standard, just playing on this sort of ground, roll out here. But though, this mid getting very, very scrappy. 2 players down, 3 players down on both sides now. However, though, the side of Freddo having to play a little bit more passive. Macau's HP extremely low. Did get arrowed by Rain there. However, though, does get a pack. They are stabilizing again. And Pistol. Oh my, Macau, that is a very ballsy peak. Jesus Christ. But they are actually stabilizing, and they actually do have Uber. They might just use straight in. Yeah, Macau definitely spotted. Rain doesn't have Uber, and they do want to chase for this medikit just to try get him. Rain does manage to live, and now it is full Uber ad for the side of Pot of Greed. Does not surprise me. Actually, that is a good play coming up from Freddo, but unfortunately they're not able to catch Rain there, and Rain trying to avoid, does manage to surf away here, and does the Uber out. Uber, sorry, for the side of Pot of Greed, trying to dodge these rolls here. He's still doing his job, trying to force Rain down, do something back
in now.
Unfortunately. Oh, actually. No,
the back hat could be dangerous, but it wasn't quite enough to make it happen. Mikau and the Scout now stuck behind, and they know they're both there, so they're just going to push as aggressively as possible. They know the second point cap's a little bit quicker here. They can definitely get this one, and with this Uber out, if they can get through, this could be absolutely biblical for them. This could be a round just handed to them on a platter, gold or silver. It does not matter. They are in there. They're on that last point. They still have the Uber. They have used it now. There is just Mikau and the Scout, and they're not even healing. They're on 83%. They need this Uber to have any chance to defend this, and that is the end of it. The first map going the way of Pot of Greed, and can I just say, what a greedy way to win it. They were just handed the map.
Oh, that last play in dead time, a very ballsy move from Freddo, and I feel like that just cost them the map, to be honest with you. That back cap attempt, yes, bit devious, but in banning time, in overtime, a very ballsy call coming out from the side of Freddo, and that, cost him game, and we looks like, very close game overall. Like, it felt like Pot of Greed had, not Pot of Greed, Freddo had control for the first round, but then it slowly sort of slipped. Pot of Greed sort of, worked the way into it, and obviously just waiting for logs to pop up on your screen there. But I do want to point to Scouts on the side of Freddo, 35-31 kills. My god, they were putting in some numbers in that game. However, still with those amount of numbers, I do want to highlight as well, Glitchy, 29 kills. Pistol dying 20 times. I felt like some of his, not holds, but some of his pushes, or like some of the, even his holds were a bit, I feel like some of the plays were just a bit devious, and they're just causing players to be just out of position.
Yeah, look, I mean, there was a bunch of devious plays on both sides, I'm not gonna lie. Some really crazy stuff. The main stat that I do want to talk about, because I don't really like doing the mathematics, I can barely do addition in my brain. Glitchy, 29 kills, 320 deeps. Like, he took a shed load of damage, but he was just involved in everything. Crazy stuff.
I mean, I do feel like as well both demos like to play quite aggressive, and then I think it matches, both these teams' sort of play style. But I feel like there's aggressive, but then it's also being too like overly aggressive, and I feel like the side of Polygree sort of used the fact that Freddo probably were thinking they were the favorites, they could just roll over them, and they just sort of, I guess played without really any pressure. But even when you look at the stats, I do want to highlight as well. Even healing, like Rain actually played pretty well despite Macau out healing him. Rain, there's not much difference, just 100 sort of, healing difference realistically, but deaths wise, Rain dying 11 times, Macau dying 9 times. But then when you look at the sort of picks that, the picks that the soldier, the side of Polygree were getting, I do want to highlight as well the side of Psycho and Gus getting, just those picks onto Macau, especially Gus with those sort of cheeky plays hiding in doorways. But even with that, Yon's having 6 medic picks, but then unfortunately, not able to sort of convert off that. It's kind of unfortunate. Like, I feel like Yon's, despite the fact him dying 30 times, however, he was, those 30 deaths, like, out of that, looks like, he was getting some important kills, put it that way.
Yeah. Some very important kills. Definitely a very impactful player. But why don't we start talking about the next map? Metalworks, the future instead of the past, Ghost.
Yes,
let's get into it.
Indeed.
But you know what?
I mean,
before we even get into that, I've got a second here. I want to tell all of these lovely viewers and gamers of the excellent opportunity to eat off of my filthy barbecue. If you come to the CappingTV Summer Brawl here in Brisbane, January 17th, it will be hot as balls. Pack your shorts and come and play some Team Fortress with the fellas. There'll inevitably be all sorts of hilarity. Who doesn't love a good LAN story? Look, I mean, I can't promise that the barbecue is going to be super clean, but I ate off it the other night, and no one died. So it can't be that bad, right?
I mean, look, we ate off it last year. No one died. That's always important, But Summer Brawl 17th of Jan. Hopefully, we can see you guys there.
Sign on up. It'll be a lot of fun. Do sign up. We've still got some seats left, even though it's a pretty small venue. So if anyone's on the fence with a 6-piece team that can make it to Brisbane for that one, feel free. And if you can't make it to the actual event, don't forget, there's always the social events on the Sunday. You get to make me make some decisions that I really shouldn't with work on the next day. So it'll be a great time. Folks, tell me about Metalworks. Tell me about how you reckon this is going to go with these two things.
Look, despite where they were going, and this respectfully shows reason why Polygree was seated second, and I feel like this could go anyone's way. Just what we just saw, like I feel like Freddo, once you get the 2 rounds on the ball, I feel like they don't need to be as overly aggressive. They can just play and control their own pace. They could just stalemate games, reset rounds, just sort of play at their own pace here. But moving on to Metalworks, I do want to see what the mids play out, and I'm curious to see as well if we do see a fast roller coming out on the side of Polygree, Fungus especially. I know he's keen for these fast rollouts, but I think this map, I feel like, look, it can go either way. I'm still in the favor of Freddo. I feel like we can see definitely maps trade here, but with the way the first game went, it wouldn't surprise me if we do see another sort of banning timer or 4-3, 4-2 type of scoreline.
Yeah, look, I can actually imagine that sort of scoreline as the map goes live. The second map here, week 2 of High here. We can see Glitchy taking a fairly standard position up on this balcony here. He has taken quite a bit of damage out of the opposing demo man there. Pistol able to do quite a bit of work, and that is going to cause some problems here. You can see the first kill, the second kill, the third kill, all going the way of Freddo being Digga. They do even pick up a fourth, and they've only lost 1 for their efforts so far. It's an absolute masterclass in crushing noobs.
Yeah,
So
and
rude.
I feel like the mid is well glitchy going for that sort of stand roller, but then as soon as he gets tagged, he jumps down, takes some fall damage. Oh my god, actually, we do see a bit of a interesting fight happen. Okay, my god, they killed glitchy. But anyway, no, glitchy doing the stand roll, but then as soon as he takes damage, he jumps, takes fall damage, and then his mid's just over. He needs to get a pack. He's just out, no spam, and then you see the side of Freddo just going aggressive, taking space. And I feel like that's what we also saw in Granary as well. The sort of space Freddo's able to take. But as we say that now, already into last year point, already getting captured there, and plays down for the side of what you call it, of Polar Green, and first round going to the side of Freddo. A very quick round. I guess similar to what we saw in Granary as well, almost.
Yeah, remarkably similar. And look, first round going the way of Freddo. Maybe they've shaken out the sillies. They're able to start making some stuff happen. They're playing a lot more cohesive, a lot more aggressive, and I think that is where they're showing most of their ability is in that aggression. On the last map as well, whenever they were sort of on the back foot, they kind of crumbled a little.
Yeah, and it looks like the side of Freddo already getting space to Halberto have been forced back into. Oh my god, Macau unfortunately does get caught out there, and this now looks like it is turning back in the favour of the side of Polar Green here. Everyone's staying alive, red to HP on the side of Freddo, and it looks like 5 HP on Submarine there. I think he is out. He is long gone. He is running back to last, and looks like full Uberad on the side of Pot of Green. A much much better mid, and yeah, looks like Freddo as well. They took space, but then backed into Valley. I feel like they just backed too far, and then the spacer just gave up on the side of Freddo, and now, yeah, full Uberad on the side of Pot of Green, and already into last year.
Yeah, Pot of Green very, very keen. They get in nice and early. Sentry's only level 1. It has gone down. If they can deal with the heavy here, they should be in really good standing. They've picked up Mikau. They've picked up a couple of gamers. There's no one really there able to defend as they just focus players down bit by bit, collect the point, and it's 1-1. And we're only, what, like 20 seconds into the goddamn map?
Yeah, basically. And I feel like Pot of Greed responding there a much better. Like, this is, to be honest, I think Pot of Greed are playing a much better, especially after that Granary win. Despite, when you're 1 and 2nd seed teams, but, that Granary, I feel like just put confidence into them. That's what I feel like what's happened. And now, Pot of Greed, really good response. After losing the first round, now taking back the second round in, pretty fast time. And yeah, back into a new mid.
Yeah, new mid, new teams. We do see quite a bit more aggression out of Freddo here. Soldier onto their medic, Mikau going down. That might be what Pot of Greed wants here to start trying to turn things around, but they're so low. They've lost so many players. I don't think they can really defend here. Waves does end up going down, so it's just Glitchy and their medic. They are trying to get away. Scout's very, very keen to make things happen. Let's go down. See you later, buddy. But that makes sense. I mean, look, they lost Mikau. They knew that they had to try to catch the medic while they could. And it has put Pot of Greed in a position here where they're going to have to defend last, at least for a little bit. And it's kind of difficult to push out into second, I find. Obviously it's doable, but it's a little bit difficult to get out there without ending up forced or something going haywire, really.
I mean, they've already gained ground as well into this sort of lobby position here, and already gained. Oh my god, actually, my 3 players just got deleted. My goodness, coming out from the side of Freddo there, and that's an Uber pop as well.
Yeah.
I mean, despite pushing out, Uber gets forced. Good, losing 3 players there. Not so bad. Uber gets forced. You're full Uberad. Unfortunately, though, we do have a bit of a late death coming out from Cowdos there, but however, those spawners coming up from the soldiers there, and at least they have full Uberad. Uber gets forced on the side of Pot of Greed.
Yeah, Pot of Greed are playing this one pretty aggressive, trying to get some sort of force or something on this middle area, because it's just so dangerous for them losing all those players and their Uberad there. They do actually collect the force. Gus and Tom able to make that one happen during that sort of like mid to 2 connector. It's the real danger zone on this map. It's all of the connectors between the points. And having collected the Uber out of Mikau, they now only have to defend with a slight player disadvantage, which is already equalised. And you can see Freddo, they're keen to get in there, but it's going to be difficult for them. They've lost a player already. They've lost a second player. They're still that heavy on the last. There's absolutely nothing they can do. And with Demo down now, this might be what Pot of Greed wants.
Yeah, and I feel like as well the side of Pot of Greed already taking, taking his second position, yeah, and that's actually, really good hold. And I feel like Freddo, similar to what I was talking about there, like sort of overly aggression, just eager to just push in and try to bully the side of pot of greed there. Unfortunately, does not pay out, and Ubers are basically even. Uber gets popped in lobby position, and I think we do see a bit of a misplay, a drop, a scout getting dropped on the side of pot of greed there, but however, a good recovery does get the medic and demo, so despite losing a scout there, this actually isn't too bad for the side of Freddo here. And actually, yeah, cleaning up frags and having, Macau living through all that sort of scrappy fight, and having basically, 30% Uber ad.
Yeah, Macau's ridiculous building really has come into play quite a few times in this match, but that's one of the first times we've sort of seen it on this map, where Pot of Greed were very confident that they had an advantage there, and, they just didn't. Realistically, they should have probably had a 10, 15, maybe 20% ad, and with that sort of heads-up play where you can catch them in that lobby area, it would have been excellent for them, but it just didn't work out. And now, Freddo, they're able to get on in, they've collected the gun, they've got a player on the last point already, there's no one really there to defend it. The fight is getting scrappier by the second. Players down on both sides, 2 players down, so much time on the point, Demoman's still alive, it's just Mikau. How did they defend?
I feel like as well, when you sort of push in, Macau was on 2 HP for like half the fight. He sort of just backed out there, and then as soon as Macau backed out, yes, they get rain, but the HP is not good on the side of Freddo. You don't have a med healing you. Your med is on 1 HP. He's probably calling he's out. He's too weak to sort of stay in. It's actually good despite Macau living. It's good that Macau lived as well, because it is... Never mind, Macau is dead.
We got
okay, not good now.
I think the stream could hear it in our production in our ears, as Ghost is saying it's good that Mikau lives. Our production goes about that. An excellent play out of Pot of Greed to be able to take out Mikau. It was looking very dangerous for Pot of Greed, because Freddo were playing a really good aggressive play there to try to hold them in the last while they were still a little bit disconnected, keep that second area for themselves, but obviously it didn't turn out. Just too much damage. One of the soldiers bombing in, and Glitchy able to get a couple of rounds in through the doorway to remove that medic from the game.
Yeah, and looks like we're going for the standard sort of alley into this sort of valley position here, and looks like they're trying to muscle their way in. Do you see a soldier high bomb trying to make a bit of space here, and looks like, not much aggression coming up from the side of Freddo here, backing into last already. However, though, both teams having Uber, and it is going to even out on both sides here, so could be in for a little bit of a stalemate, as we like to call it, and we do have Cowdos on a sniper class.
Again, with this building out of Mikau, man, dude is insane. I mean, he's really good at medic, but the sheer force of will to convince your team to build as much as he does, insane. Big old,
oh my, nice shot!
2 beautiful shots out of the sniper there to remove those soldiers sacking in. Quite a bit of the damage coming out of a full charge shot and then a headshot. And with that sniper, they've really got to play a little bit safe here. Their medic's taking a bit of damage on the point. Sniper sightline not looking super excellent, but rain's down quite low. But the spawn's coming through again. I think we'll be back to another little reset, another little stalemate. But I tell you what, Freddo, they're playing super safe. They are worried. You can see it.
I think this is the first time as well we've seen Freddo play like a proper last, or they actually have an NG now. Obviously, we didn't really see them use that on Granary, and that is
no way.
Okay.
No way.
Did he just not spam, or wait? So he had the magnets on, and north and south didn't really equal, and the rockets.
But they picked up 2 as the push out starts to happen. They pick up Yons and one of the scouts. What happened, man?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. Look. I think Freddo played a really nice trap card there. They used the Reforce, a very good card. But anyway, no, really good pick coming out from. A very unfortunate mistake, I'd say, from the side of Pot of Greed. Rain down to spam there. to be honest, just shouldn't happen. Like, that's just a mistake.
I mean, look,
Pot of Greed.
those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, so I'm not going to talk too much garbage because I'm certain I've done the same thing multiple times. But just crazy. And it is going to result in an even Uber raid possibly on the middle here, as players are going down. They're sort of getting stuck behind on the side there of Pot of Greed.
Oh my
the Uber finally gets used. Mikau holding on until the last safe moment, not able to hold on any longer. Counter Uber has come through from Pot of Greed. They're quite keen, but the red team has fled the coop.
Yeah, they are out of that. Macau, though, I think they want to take an exchange, and Macau just trying to hold on for DLF, not used too early, but unfortunately with the amount of spam glitch he's putting on with the stickies and everything, like, he had to sort of just pop there. There was no choice, and, you know, unfortunately, worse Uber for the side of Pot of Greed here, but now we do see the side of, sorry, Pot of Greed, of Freddo, but we do see now Pot of Greed taking this alley position, valley position, and actually got Macau going down. So, yeah, I feel like, yeah, actually, I'm surprised Macau died, actually. I didn't even catch that personally, because I was seeing side of Pot of Greed take Ali, and that, yeah, full Uber. So, very, very good pick coming out from the side of Pot of Greed.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're looking keen to make this one happen. They're getting in on that left-hand side. They have used the Uber super early this time. Obviously, a little bit of frightened from what happened last time. They are into that last there. The Uber has already faded. The heavy is still up. This is actually looking a little bit grim for Pot of Greed here. Gus trying to make something happen and clean up Mikau. Not quite able to get the damage required. Mikau still on crits, though. It's going to make it a little bit difficult.
I feel like the way Pistol plays, I think the crits can work, but it also would not surprise me. They are grinding it now. Do they choose to take it on a demo? Ideally, yes, but yeah, it looks like they're waiting for the demo. So I think the call will be to use on Pistol. They're going to have to play with his crits, unfortunately. Not ideal, yes. However, though, curious to see what they can get out of it. Still crits in the hand, and I think it is going to even out here, and I feel like Pot of Greed definitely know it's crits. I think they must have spotted Mikau's minigun, and we do see Uber and his crits here is just not very effective. Unfortunately, you cannot damage invulnerable players. Mikau does die there, but frags actually going in favor of Pot of Greed. A very, very scrappy fight in the end.
Yeah, super scrappy, and still with the scout left alive. Both these players are down fairly low. This could actually go the way, not quite. Could almost go the way of you know what? Wait, Freddo. I just cannot keep these things in my head, man.
Freddo, I
have taken so many clonks on my noggin, mate. There is no world where I'm remembering team names anymore. Yeah, it almost looked like it could have gone their way, but it didn't quite happen. We're back to a bit of a reset, but I do think... I mean, do you think Freddo know how well they are building? Like, do you think they... Because, realistically, I think if they build quick enough, they could push out here if they wanted.
Yeah, it looks like Macau is staying on Uber here, and it might... It's just a trade coming out on both sides here, but it might just even out, and I feel like, yeah, Freddo, however the hell you want to say their name, I don't know anymore. But no, looks like they're just bunkering on the last year, and it looks like it's just going to be a stalemate situation. Have the NG set up, no real crazy off-class sort of standard, and we do see Fun Gus coming on the sniper. So curious to see what he can do on this class now.
Yeah, I mean, look, Gus up on that sniper. Spy, sorry. We'll have to see if it works out. Was it him last time trying to get in and just getting absolutely minced?
So, no, I think it was Psycho who ate, I think, like a spam rocket or some sort of spam, and then is like, oh shit, I'm screwed, and then sort of just, you know, went for it. But now Gus on the spy, so...
Is he already taking a bit of damage? Oh, they lose Glitchy to a trap!
And they know the spy now. Yod saw that as well.
This is falling apart!
So they didn't bump into him, but they definitely know he's here. He's already deep.
Oh, they absolutely heard the big one.
Yeah.
He was standing on the other side of the wall of Macau when he like he was so
and Yod And Yon's also spotted it as well. I don't think it was cloaked as, like, oh, that's so unfortunate.
Everything sort of went poorly for him there.
And yeah, they're off class on the side of Pot of Greed, and yeah, still back onto last year, minute 50 on the round timer. So potentially could see a reset come into play. Everyone's sort of holding their respective, angles. We do have both soldiers holding their flanks there, left and right, and then we just have the combo holding the standard sort of shutter position. Cal playing in a really, really good position. That sentry gun is basically just anti-bullshit. He sits there, he's got his, he's got a free sentry gun sort of protecting him, and that dispenser as well, now getting moved. He's got level 4 armor, just to put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's like really no way to get the force on him here. Obviously, you go for like a sniper hero shot. Dude, this fight on the flank, Yons and Tom trading. But yeah, there's really not much you can do to try to get the force. There's just very little. I don't know. They actually Uber straight on through. They have picked up the gun, but that's it. They have had to multi so hard. They've lost Gus on the backside as well. It's into a bit of a lobby fight here, and it's going to be a cool, calm, collected reset. Yeah, I say as they start pushing into lobby.
I mean, Freddo are trying to aggress their way into lobby here, but yeah, unfortunately not getting much ground. And yeah, as you said, a classic reset there. So I mean, Uber gets popped out, but you get the sentry gun, and now this is just turned into a battle onto last year frags going in actually the favor of Pot of Greed here, and that is second round on the board in the dying lights of the sort of round with 20 seconds left to spare. Pot of Greed get the second round, and I feel like this map is now is definitely a lot closer compared to sort of what we saw at the start of Granary, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I said it earlier, but I really am feeling it. Freddo they don't seem to do as well when they're defending. And that was just really masterful stuff out of Pot of Greed, turning that one around. But coming into this next mid, it's pretty standard sort of mid, bit of trade of damage so far. Big old soldier bomb out of both of the red soldiers. Yon sitting up on that little vent there. But there's really not many frags going the way of either team so far. Mikau going down, a nice clean rocket out of Psycho to make that one happen, and it's looking excellent for Pot of Greed now. They're not looking greedy at all, mate. They're looking conservative with their fiscal situation. I don't know. I was trying to come up with something funny, but it was terrible.
Nice arrow by Rain onto Yons there, retreating. Yeah, and these mids are now actually turning the favour. Pot of Greed are actually playing this mid super well. They're going aggressive there, but as soon as they're taking space. But then when you look at the HP on the side of Freddo, however the hell you want to say their name, it's just not looking. I feel like it's just not looking too good, to be honest. When they get into these mids, it's just not, going the way they want. And Uber already gets popped onto last year on the side of Pot of Greed.
Yeah, they have managed to pick up the gun, but it delayed them pretty badly. They've lost their demo very early as well. They haven't picked up quite as many frags as I think they're hoping for here, and they are going to have to back out. They've kept quite a few of their players alive, though, so it's going to be difficult for Freddo to push on out into second here. Not for lack of trying. They're coming through that lobby area. No one was there to stop them. Tom racing around behind on the back line. No one's seen him. He's on the last point. He's dueling a soldier, but he does go down very, very close as the fight continues on the second point there, and it is turning out very, very well for Freddo. That said, I mean, Pot of Greed managed to get their medic out with one of their soldiers, so they're still healing. It's probably going to equalise on their second here because they absolutely cannot defend the middle point.
Yeah, and Mikau's nice movement as well. Surviving on 6 HP, and then obviously getting the pack to obviously recover his health there. But now, yeah, as you said, it is basically even Ubers. I thought Freddo might go for... Actually, never mind. They go for aggressive, and this turns into a trade. A little bit of a multi coming out from the side of... Actually, both sides, as I say that. And Uber slightly better for the side of Pot of Greed, but unfortunately no frags in either... for either side, sorry. So, yeah, basically equalized Mikau with a slight bit of add. But, yeah, I don't think anything else should really come out from this round yet. But Freddo look like they are getting a little bit aggressive here, and that is just a scout down. Actually, a trade. Thomas are getting taken out for Decide upon agree, so just trades going in both sides here, but yeah, I think it's just going to be stalemate central again.
Yeah, look, possibly, but I got to say, in these stalemates, it does seem like Pot Agreed are somehow taking the initiative and really turning it into something that works for them. So, look, it'll just be a bit of a grind, a bit of a relaxing Team Fortress 2 standoff. But who knows? Who knows indeed? We do see Yon's in with a nice big bomb. Is he's direct onto the medic? Oh God! They do get the force, but Yon's has gone down. So has the other soldier as well. Glitchy in with a nice big bomb. Doesn't really manage much with it, and that's going to be a bit of an interesting play here. We do see Mikau and Co in that lobby area. They're kind of locked in. It's going to be really difficult for them to get out really anywhere without being seen. There is still a scout behind. Does end up going down. This is so much fighting. Oh! Holy cow. What a bomb.
Dropping there. That is so unfortunate. And Mikau just trying to, yeah, trying to sort of surf the rocket. But now, yeah, basically full Uber out for the side of Pot of Greed here and already gaining position in a second. We have an NG as well on the side of Freddo. But one thing to note is I feel like the side of Freddo, as soon as it gets to stalemates, I feel like they either one, get really bored and just want to push out, or when they take these trades as well, I feel like they overextend a fair bit, and Mikau being so experienced, I feel like he's trying to wrangle them in. Don't go too far, don't go too aggressive, but clearly something's not working, and I believe this is a pause of some kind. We will find out soon, I guess, what it is, potentially. But yeah, as I was saying, I feel like some of these trades are just ending too deep for the side of Freddo, or players are incredibly low post, or they're losing, or they're losing.
They're not looking greedy at all, mate. They're looking, they look it's a it's a messy one for them. How do you? I mean, look. I think this pause, knowing that they're 90 seconds in the future, I think this is post-round pause central.
Tack pause, a classic. Get the tack, possible tack pause or tech pause. You reckon which one?
Oh, I'd say tack. Who knows? Maybe they just need to bloop themselves on account of the length of this game. Who knows?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm not trying to get into the mind of a Team Fortress player that actually knows how to play the game. That's God's job.
It wouldn't surprise me if someone like Mikau would say, "Look, guys, let's pause, let's reset," despite his experience. But obviously, we are just waiting to figure out what of it. As you said, there are in the future, 90 seconds ahead. So you probably will see soon, obviously, what the pause was for. But however, as of okay, we've just been informed. This is going to be interesting. Mikau needs to sub out. So
yeah, that's
forgot to
be
mention
a little bit
this.
difficult.
Yeah, so at the start of this game and when it's starting, despite the length of the game, Mikau unfortunately can't stay for the full duration of the second map. So as a result, they have opted, and this has been approved already, Tennis will be subbing in to play the remainder on Medic, and this is not ideal mid-game. Tennis definitely not known for his Medic. And obviously not as experienced compared to Mikau. So this isn't ideal, so I feel like they just have to make do with the situation at hand. But yeah, unpause coming up.
Yeah. Look, the unpause has come on through. The round is playing its way out the way we sort of expected. Bit of defense on that point, but not really able to make it happen just yet. They are quite low, but that is the end of it. And here we go. They're subbing in Tennis instead of Mikau. I'm genuinely quite interested in how this is going to
I'm curious as well, because Tennis isn't, as I said, he's not known for Medic, and obviously he's not, Mikau level, put it like that way. He'll probably do what he can, definitely, despite the circumstances. But subbing a player mid-game, a very dangerous call. But yeah, mid, and obviously we'll see a sub out should probably happen shortly.
Yeah, look, into this new mid. We can see quite a bit of aggression out of Freddo here. They have picked up Rain, but they have lost Mick out as well. I'm sure we're going to see that sub out shortly. It's actually looking like this one's going to be a Pot of Greed victory here for this middle, with 1:30 left on the clock. A parting frag coming out of the Freddo soldier there, just able to get on out. The sub is probably happening right here, I believe.
1.
Somewhere in the vicinity of this.
Yes, anyway. Oh,
There
here we
you
go.
go.
Here
There's
we go.
the pause.
We see it for a pause.
We
I'm
figured
forward.
it
Yep,
all
yep.
out.
And
There
now
we
we
go.
see Tennis John Chungus in the server, and I believe he is on the crits. Yes, crits. So
Monstrous.
it doesn't surprise me. Obviously, yes, something a player we mentioned is not ideal, but they are basically, on last having to deal with crits here, and we do see a cookie bomb coming out from a pistol. So quite a good weapon to use with crits if they do get it. But yeah, we need to see this last push happen for Pot of Greed. They are now in full control of this last.
Yeah, they're absolutely in full control. But, I mean, look, if they play this right, they can play it out after the banny timer maybe. But no, they're deciding to get straight in there. They're in very, very deep. Lots of damage. Not really much coming back the other way. They have picked up quite a few players. The medic going down as well. And that is all she wrote for that round. There have been 19 seconds left on the clock. We're going into the banny timer. And Freddo are going to have to win 4 rounds in a row to be able to turn this one around.
Yeah, look, I mean, yes, it's doable, but, losing, I guess, possibly one of your most important classes, subbing out and getting someone in mid-game, not ideal, and, yeah, look, it's going to be an uphill battle for the side of Freddo if they do want to call back this game.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, but they've definitely shown some real flashes of brilliance, especially on that first map there. This mid, they're looking very good. They've got quite a bit of dominant control here. Psycho and his soldier partner getting in nice and deep for a soldier bomb. They do not manage to pick up very, very much, though. They do gain quite a bit of ground from Pot of Greed on the whole here. Players going down on both sides, but it's still pretty even. But Pot of Greed are looking good. They've got that high ground. They're keeping players in the valley there. And Gus coming through and not achieving a hell of a lot with that bomb. I don't know if they've noticed that the players are still here. Gus still trying to make things happen. Does go down. Glitchy managing to pick up the other soldier on the other side there. And this fight is still going. The Uber has been
Oh my
used.
God!
And the drop trying to hold a little bit too long. Rain going down here. This is actually what you want to see if you're Freddo. You're able to pick up a couple of players, but they do lose their demo man in the post-Uber fight there, just down on that lower ground. They have picked up a couple of other players, but they are having to back out. They are having to play this one safe.
Yeah, and now Freddo getting that pick onto Rain there. Rain milking for a little bit too long, does get 2 shots by the scout on the side of Freddo there. And now we do see a bit of a... Actually, as I say, there are waves.
Oh, dude, waves.
Oh, my...
Oh.
Unfortunate there. But yeah, really, really good pick coming out from the side of Freddo there. And now, yeah, pretty much with full Uber. And looks like... looks like they're starting to build, looks like they're getting back to the game despite not having Mikal and working their way through this alley position.
Yeah, they're getting very, very keen. Soldier, big old bomb, nearly hits the air shot onto the medic, who does end up dropping it. Oh my god, what is happening on this map, man?
And
So
this might
many
even be
drops.
second as well as a result of that.
My lord, yeah, I think that is going to be second coming out of that one. There is a little bit of fighting going on in the backside, though. We can see Kaldos has slipped in behind. He's onto that middle point. He's probably going to try for some forward spawn frags. But look, I mean, full Uber ad, you're on there second. I mean, you're feeling good, I think, if you are Pot of Greed here.
Psycho taunting onto Kaldos there at the end. That's where you play it down, and I feel like this definitely just has to be around for Pot of Greed. I hopefully don't see them beef this last push, but yeah, it looks like they are just going for a standard go through shadow, use through, but looks things not quite yet. Okay.
Can't delay too much longer. I mean, 80% already on John Chungus tennis there. And with that crits, it could become pretty dangerous for them. They are through. The Uber has been used. They picked up Yons nice and early, but they haven't really picked up anyone else. Everyone's clumped into a corner. The laser beam's heavy has come out. The Uber has faded as well. The medic has died. There's so many players dead. And that is all she wrote. Pot of Greed really coming back. They looked terrible in the first 10 minutes of this match, and in the course of these two maps they've really shown up. They've really been able to make things happen,
and this saw Exor Shiver from the 1 and 2 seed, and a very not a very clean victory around Metalworks Pot of Greed, and 2-0, really good step for their points and for their standings in the division, and this is definitely hoping that, you know, they want to get that first seed for their spot coming into the playoff season. I feel like as well for the side of Freddo, it is, if they had Mikal, might have been different, possibly. But
it was one round right at the end.
Yeah,
I don't see it making a massive difference.
But still, it is unfortunate that, you know, Mikal, you know, unfortunately, you know, had to leave and then, you know, have to sub in tennis mid game. But I love these logs here, but obviously,
apparently the logs have gone into the Highlander mode because of the extra player.
Yeah, I mean, I have the logs up on my end here, but I do want to point out, Glitchy again, a monster game, 11,447 damage, but
nearly send it to the group, 419 DPM. You were so close, baby.
Pistol having a very rough game, but then overall, I feel like when you look at the side of Freddo, I feel like, yes, they get 2 mid fights at the end, but the rest of it was just going in favor of Pot of Greed, and I feel like it just comes to the way, I guess, the playstyle of Freddo, but maybe some of their post-Ubers or some of their pushes. But I feel like the side of Freddo, as soon as, you know, not as soon as, I feel like, the players, some of them, I guess, weren't hitting their shots, yes, but I feel like the granary game may have took it out of them, possibly, but also,
maybe.
You know, switching players near the end, but
it's not what you
like
want.
that.
It's really not what you want. Switching.
I feel like overall for the side of Freddo, you could just call this map just a bit of a write-off, and maybe, you know, look at it again. They're actually playing really well at the start with Mikal, but overall I think just you subbing someone out, not ideal at the end of the day.
Yeah, Glitchy was playing out of his brain, bro, the entire way through that. And we can see the updated standings as they stand at this point. Keep in mind there's still a match to be played and all of that. Pot of Greed now in first place indicatively. Just week 2 once again. This is very, very early days. Look, I mean, they still have to come up against Blank's Burgers, but we'll see how that turns out for them.
Overall, like really good 2 maps of Pot of Greed. End of the day, a win's a win. You get to 2-0, you get your points.
Oh yeah, you take what you can.
You can take what you can, and now you see the first seed.
I don't know if the rules still work the same way they did when I was in primary school, but if you win a game, you get to take a card or 2 out of your opponent's deck. So,
oh yes, that's true. I mean, I think
you're taking that dude's Darkly Big Rabbi. It's yours now. It goes in the collection.
I wish there was a card called that, but it looks like Pot of
There is. It's a fake one.
You know.
It's like it's got like infinity attack, infinity defense. It's total bullshit.
At end of the day, Pot of Greed, you know, Exodia, Obliterate, like, end of the day, 2-0, they got the win. But, I mean, even the logs highlight, Psycho played really well. He got 8 med picks. I'm looking at it now, just looking at med picks wise. Like, but I guess the main play to highlight, probably I'd say in this map, would have been Glitchy. Definitely.
Oh, the dude's insane. I do remember him a little more, having watched him play again. I remember him being a bit of a crazy demo, and it seems like he's just amped it up so much since. So
I mean, there's nothing real else to say. I mean, congratulations to the side of Pot of Greed, commiserations to Freddo. I mean, it is unfortunate for what happened on the second map, and I feel like, you know, they should still make playoffs. It doesn't really matter about the results. At the end of the day, there's still games to play. It's still week 2. Look, you know, you can look at these games, look it over. I feel like the main thing, though, was definitely some of these post-Ubers, and I feel like some of the aggression they were playing. And then it got to a point, Pistol went to the Quickie Bomb, something he does like to use, and even so, that didn't really save them at the end of the day. And look, Pot of Greed, great cards. They draw 2 cards. They got what they needed. And
I mean, they drew 2 maps in this instance, so good on them. You know, that's a good thing to have in the hand as you head into the playoffs, I suppose. I don't remember enough Yu-Gi-Oh references to like come up with anything
Look,
funny or smart.
I've been playing a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh recently. I've got a good old 25 hours in the Yu-Gi-Oh online game on Steam.
Too much, man. That's too much.
But look, yeah, 2-0 coming up from the side of degree and commiseration for Freddo here. I'm guessing we will be wrapping it up unless we are doing anything else.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. But before we do go, we better let everyone know there's another game tomorrow at 8:30. There's going to be a Prem game, so you can tune in and watch that one. I won't be on it, so you get to avoid my ugly mug. What a treat. It will be... Who is it? It's Ghost and
me.
Hasdaddy?
Yes, I'll be here. Thank God I can avoid stock take at work, so it's good. Oh, Azerbaijan, however you say it. What a wonderful name, but yeah. I'll be there. Hasdaddy will be there. But otherwise, yeah, really good game. I guess, yeah, wrapping it up now. Oh, actually,
we got one more.
Summer Brawl. Quick, Summer Brawl.
There's the Summer Brawl. So, like I said earlier, for anyone who is going to be able to rock up, I'll do my usual sort of silly deeds. There'll be food, there'll be fun, there'll be video games, there'll be Team Fortress 2 here in lovely Brisbane. Recently voted, I think, the world's 7th worst traffic or something like that. It's a lovely place to be, and you're gonna be here a while because you can't leave. Yeah, look, feel free to sign on up for that one if you have not yet, and make sure that you send any feedback in the ozfortress or CappingTV Discord regarding any new graphics, and if you want to see anything, because we're sort of playing with the way everything looks over the course of this season, so we want to know what you're thinking and how it's looking with the HUD and with the graphics in between rounds and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. This has been Capping Television covering Freddo v Digga versus Pot of Greed. It's been round 2 of ozfortress Spring 2025, which is season number Ghost
44. And before, I guess we sort of sign off, any quick shout outs quickly before we say bye bye?
The usual, Warrnambool, Swan Hill, the town of Hamilton in Victoria as well. Wakery, South Australia, keep up the great work over there. Good God. And Salt Free, naturally. Plus you guys, that's just a given though.
If I'm just coming from myself, obviously thank you, Mitch, for producing Snazzy Casting with me. Congratulations, Pot of Greed, 2-0 commiserations to the side of Freddo, and thanks for a great game from both teams. But I did see a ping as well. Snazzy pinged me in Discord. 6-7. I'm going
literally 2 hours ago.
I only just saw it, but yes, 6-7. There you go. I've said it. That was to Yons, I believe. I just saw it there. But anyway,
I don't remember who asked for it. It's so long.
No, it was Yons. I saw the miss. I think I saw it. I just didn't.
Was it? It was like literally way back at the start. Hold on. What happened here?
I saw the thing. I remembered. I was like, I think it's Yons.
Oh, dude, I can't even see that far back.
Anyway,
there you go. Someone clip it.
You got your 6-7. You're happy. But anyway, yeah. Catch us tomorrow for some more TF2 action. Obviously, Azerbaijan technology taking on a freak off in that Prem game. But otherwise, yeah. Stay safe. Have a good night, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Press this. Oh.
Nice.
I remember Mitchell. God.
I remember Yons asked for a 6-7.